Straight out of Ngaruawahia. Ooh. Straight out of Ngaruawahia, New Zealand, here's Maurieo. Hello, Maurieo Live, number 16, Beyond 500. Hello, hello, welcome. Just give me a moment while I set up the chat and just get that appearing on my screen, and then I'll be right with you. So I see Works Hard's there already. Hello. Welcome. I hope you've had a marvelous week. As I say, I'm just getting the getting my chat set up, and we'll oh, it's going. It's all good. It's all good to go by the look of it. So yeah, that's awesome. I'll just check here. I don't know how that happened. Hi. Yep. Oh, chat's all good. Going on screen. So yes, I just finished my 500th. Oh yes, the most important, smashing that like button. I'm still catching up on some of your videos from your cruise and Disney, but looks like you had a pretty good fun time with all the family and things. I was really interested in the one where all of the sodas from around the world. I was having a little bit of a look out to see if we had our local one here, which is pretty popular. It's called LMP, or Lemon and Pyro, and it comes from a town not far from where I live, was where it was made. So yeah, looks like a lot of fun, and 7 to 10 days you said you had, which is, it's a great time to get a good break away from the work face and that sort of thing, and get in there and yeah, leave all the troubles behind. Lemon and Pyro. Pyro is the name of the town. I'll just put that in there. Yeah, it's Lemon and Pyro, which is the name of the town, or it's known over here as LMP. The town has a natural spring where the water, very good water that comes out of the ground, I think, and so they've been using that for making various drinks, you know, since Victorian times, and yeah, they have this local drink called Lemon and Pyro, and the town itself has a big or might be 10 or 12 meter high bottle. Yeah. Oh, I thought I put the I put the spelling in the Pyro. It's a Maori word for the town. Yeah, I thought I'd pushed it there. Yeah, and yeah, the town has a this big bottle in the main street, which is a bit of a tourist attraction sort of thing. But yeah, it's New Zealand wide. It's like, I think it's made by probably owned by the same people that own Coca-Cola, to be honest. They own most of the fizzy drinks in New Zealand. So yeah, I mean, we have most of the usual ones, you know, Coca-Cola and Fanta, Mountain Dew, all of those ones. But, this is our local our local one. Yeah, Goes well with bourbon. Bourbon apparently. Bourbon and Pyro is one of the local drinks, so to speak. So, yes. Yeah, most things go well with bourbon, including bourbon. Yeah, so I've had a really interesting week, one way and another. Been building up to my 500th vlog and trying to work on from there. I've also having a few trials and tribulations with Adobe. I can't. I haven't got Photoshop available at the moment, so I've been using the free one on the net, paint.net, and yeah, I'm getting almost sort of up to the standard that I've achieved with Photoshop, but yeah, it's not quite as easy. But I'm learning little bits and pieces every day and adding it on, so yeah, it's all really good. I've got a scene in the back here from this is from the Ngaruawahia Gorge, which is not far away from here, about an hour's drive from where I live. Through there, it's quite a historic gold mining area. Well, you might be able to pick that up from the geology, from the type of rock and that you can see there. And so I've each week, well, each live show, I've been trying to pick backgrounds of various places. So I've actually got some friends that live just up the road from here in Waikino, which is a little town in this gorge that you travel through between. Yeah, it's actually between Pyro, which was where I was talking about before about the drink, and Waihi, which is the gold mining town. It's called the Ngaruawahia Gorge, and there's some quite nice walks and things in there. It's very it's a nice spot and good trout fishing in the river there. There's often a few people trout fishing and what have you in there. So yeah, very that's today's background. Have you been are you back at work? Back at work now. Works hard, and all the things that brings to us. Being back at work, I just keep on working day on day. So yeah, I've got a couple of little programs that I'm looking at. Yeah, next big event actually is my son is coming over over here towards the end of the month. So my grandson, my American grandson, will be coming to visit. So 2-year-old. So I'm quite looking forward to that. My son's and his wife will be coming over here. First trip for his wife to New Zealand, and his first trip out of the United States since he got his green card. So he's all pretty confident now that they'll let him back in. So that's all good. They've yeah, bought a house in oh, okay, a work presentation. Well, that sounds well, all sorts of things really. Any how long's that going to go for? He's been over there in the States for, oh golly, maybe 5 or 6 years. Yeah, he's 5 or 6 years. He went over to studies. He went to Boulder, in Colorado, and studied at the university there. But his partner, or his wife, is from Cincinnati, I think. Yes, Ohio, Cincinnati, and so they settled in Cincinnati, and they've since he managed to get a job there that was related to what he's doing, and yeah, they've bought a house, just bought a house there, and he's got his job, and yeah, and the young grandson, yeah, he's 2 years old. So we went over for the wedding a year or so ago. Yes, yes, yes. Well, yes, that's right. But that sort of happens when you're young. Yeah, young, and a lot of young people all together, I suppose. Yeah. And so yeah, so they're coming over to have a look and see how we. Well, his wife is coming to see how we live here in New Zealand. Yeah. He gave us a bit of a scare a while back because he, when he moved to Cincinnati, he told us that he was that they were moving to Lebanon, and we didn't realise that that was a suburb of Cincinnati. So we were a little bit upset. Worried there for a while, but then when we found out exactly where it was, not so bad. You're working today, presentation, won't it? Is it Saturday? You work on a Saturday? Is that right? Or, well, no, Friday, it would be Saturday. Presentation, yeah, that sounds like a bit of fun. Yeah, that's great. Oh, I see. Oh, right. Yes, yes, yes. So I know what that feels like. I've got, yeah. Oh, okay. All right. Yeah. And what do you use for your presentation? Are you using like PowerPoint or something like that, or is it? Yeah, it is work related. It's not work related to your some of your sales things and that, is it? Or I always like yeah. You guys don't have much. Just like my son, he's just coming over for 10 days because yeah, they don't get much holidays over your way. Yeah, we get 20 days over here, you know, like a month. It's like compulsory through the government, make us take a month's holiday a year. Yeah. Yeah, it's always, I love things. Hello, Howie. Yeah, good to hear from you. We'll see you over there in Vancouver Island. Yeah, and works hard here. She's going to go and get all prepped up for this presentation. We'll have to find out how it went next week or afterwards. Yeah, you've been first day of spring here, Howie. So yeah, things are going to start to grow again and take off and green up. I've already been out mowing the lawns, and a week's growth is quite significant even at this time of year. Yeah. Hey, Moz. Yes, or it'd be the opposite. Yeah. Yeah, oh, the party. The party's over. I've still got my hat somewhere around, but yeah, just a quick celebration and then moving on. And yeah, I must find that that picture, that picture of the dog there that you like so much. I'll try and find that on my screen here and put that up at some point. Yeah. What do you got? You got anything on this weekend? Moz? A bit of a be getting up for good motorcycle weather. To be able to get on that bike and get out and that. So it should be pretty warm. Yeah, all good. So yeah, I'll just try and find that picture actually. I don't know where it's all at. Oh, it should be okay there. Oh, here it's coming up now. So yeah, just looking for that picture at the moment. The Web Crap of the Week picture that Moz thought was pretty good. That was from this week's episode here. Oh, this one here. Here it is here. So yeah, okay, the Targa car rally. We have that. We have that over here. That's a name I'm familiar with, sort of over there. Okay, so you'll get on the bike and go and have a look. So yeah, yeah. So yeah, I'll just put this picture up here. This was a picture I found during the week from Web Crap of the Week, and yeah, Moz reckons he's going to do one with his dog. Oh, yours is you have a bulldog, I think you said, did you? Or a pit bull? I'm not sure, but certainly something like this, meeting you at the gate, would certainly make you fairly wary. Fairly wary, I would say. But, yeah. Yeah. All right. Oh, okay, the inaugural one. Now there are they have all sorts of, like, they have old classes and things in there, I think. For those ones, like old cars, like that was my understanding. I'm just trying to get my get everything back to where I can. Oh, right, a Neapolitan Mastiff. Yeah, I maybe might try and send that. I don't know, send that photo to the Simple Joys. They've got that big Dalmatian or horse thing there. Oh, okay. 86 kgs. Hell. Yeah, I'm trying to trim down to that weight. Holy hell. Feed washing ashore. Oh, yeah. Yeah. No, I've seen a few little articles about that. Yeah, that the feet washing ashore. Yeah, I have seen that over the years, and there was bit of a spate of it. Did they yeah. Was it? I can't remember. Was it some sort of medical waste issue or something? I wasn't. I have seen that. It would have been maybe a couple of years ago, but yeah, I've definitely seen that. I know what you're talking about. Yeah. Well, it would be a little bit disconcerting with a foot or something. Yeah. I'm pretty sure that one and that dog's one's not human. But it's certainly put the frighteners on a few people, that's for real. Yeah. So yeah, I was a little bit behind, bit slow this evening. I didn't get my my vlog away till about 11:30. So usually I had set myself a goal to do a little bit of a prep for the live stream, have a few topics and things on the go, but I haven't got anything really there, sort of on the tip of my tongue. So I'm just sort of going to search through my my vlog here and see what we had. So yeah, most of my week's been mostly left feet. Oh, okay, all right. Oh, that's intriguing. I'll have to have a bit of a search and oh, Grant and Colette. Yeah, I know what you're talking about now. Yeah. I did yeah, I've spent I watched a couple of their things, and I think last New Year's Eve I think I joined their live show and thing, and then I've they mostly most of their stuff's during the day when I'm at work, but put up a sign, trespassers will be prosecuted to the extent of the canine law. What do you think? Size 12 and 13 high-end runner. Story on the street is gangsters. Oh, okay. Simple Joys. Yeah. No, I watch some of their stuff. I haven't been there for a little while, but yeah, I sort of keep an eye on them. Yeah, their trivia shows and that. Yeah, they're really good. Yeah. To the extent of the canine law. I like the one, or the ones that they have over here are sort of a picture of the big dog, and they say Maker's Day or something like that. I think is the ones I've seen. Yeah. No, they're really good, and yeah, they got some interesting stories to tell. I've been quite interested in some of the stuff that Grant's collected in his garage and stuff like that. Has been quite intriguing. He's a bit of a hoarder, and some of the things that he's had there have been pretty good. Yeah. No, they are, and they go to a great amount of trouble to get all the things together. Yeah, the trivia on Tuesdays. That's sometimes when I'm if I'm working from home, sometimes I just watch it while I'm working, but generally I don't catch it so much. So they tend to work at hours that don't fit with my schedule. Yeah. No, they have good times. They got a good following too. Yeah. I can. I was doing a job once in Huntley, and yeah, my dog can make it to the gate. I was doing this job in Huntley, and there was this I imagine it was a sort of a pit bull type, mastiffy type dog, and it would just bark, and when the owner was there, it was fine, and then he'd go inside and it'd bark, and he had it tied up on this chain, and around the clothesline, and I'd got most of the stuff done, but I thought there was something I missed. I might have wanted to measure a gully trap, or I don't know what it was, but it was around the back of the house. So I just thought, I'll just sneak around the back of the house. And, well, the dog saw me straight away. And so, I don't know if you know, but, like, have you ever done it? But if you sort of grab hold of somebody by the scruff of the neck and then they try to run away and you let them go, they go quite fast. Well, this dog was straining away on this chain and yep, bark. And all of a sudden, the chain broke, and the dog, I'm sure it did. It was faster than Usain Bolt, I'm pretty sure. And when they're quiet, they're eating something. Yes. Well, this dog was sort of at the clothesline, and then a second later he was by my side trying to have a piece of me, and I just ran straight out into, well, it was Harris Street in Huntley. It was the main street through Huntley. I just ran straight across the road. I didn't look or nothing. Fortunately, I made it, but yeah, she was a close run thing. And my jeans had a bit of a a bit of a thing. Speaking of which, I've got a thing here. Bit of a spoiler alert for Web Crap of the Week this week. I saw this just tonight, and I thought I've got to have that one. A little bit of web crap that I got tonight I thought was pretty funny. Here it is, here, coming up in a minute. Oh, this one here, yeah. Here we go. I'll just flick it across onto the screen there. This one here. My jeans weren't quite this bad, but but in spite of that, you keep shopping. I thought, yeah, mine weren't quite that bad. I wore mine for quite a few years afterwards. Yeah, well, the first rule of surveying is always shake the gate. That's my rule. I tell my students that. Always shake the gate. So we turn up. We have zombie drug addicts here, bad. Cannot leave anything. And yes, plenty of the scruff of the neck out the gate, almost weekly. And some don't like scruff of the neck. No, I don't imagine they do. Oh, wow, that's, what, are they just coming onto your property and, okay. That sounds, yeah, always shake the gate. So give the gate a bit of a shake, wait for a few seconds, nothing happens, it's good to go. That's the rules. All right, so yeah, a bit of a spoiler on that one. So many questions. Yes. Oh, okay. All right. Oh well. See if I can get back to my bit back to my yeah. There we go. Oh, what have we got there now? Oh no, we want to come back to here. That's the one. Yeah. Alrighty. Yeah. Yeah, and that's a big problem. I mean, we here in New Zealand, there's a big well, we hear on the news that there's a big methamphetamine problem, but to be honest, I don't, I don't see it. It's not terribly visible in the streets. Okay, North America known as meth. Yeah, I mean they say it's a big problem here. One of the biggest problems that we've just been having here is that is with the contamination of houses, and we're having a few problems with the standards around how much meth contamination you can have in your house before it becomes dangerous to live in. So the government came up with some regulations that set the levels for this contamination, and they went round, and there was all sorts of all companies set up and were going round checking houses, and people were like, I know one of the guys I work with, he bought one and they ripped out all the linings and re-jibbed it, and he bought it cheap. He had the resources to sort out a lot of the problems himself, and then put it back on the market. And then when the new government came in, they their chief science advisor sort of said, well, the levels of the contamination that they were using were all wrong, and that they were way too tough, and so they changed the rules for the government, not for the private sector. And then all of a sudden, a whole lot of houses, or state houses as we call them, or social houses, became available. You'll see it when the homeless camp is taken down and they have to go somewhere, and now they have taken to caves, abandoned buildings, and tree houses. I mean, oh my God. Yeah, it always amuses me that the skills and resources and things that it takes to live the lifestyle, if they applied those in the within the what is considered normal, they'd probably be quite successful. It's they seem to have the skills and ingenuity, but don't seem to be able to apply it in the Yeah. Well, you know, is it the guy in the the guy in the Philippines? Is it the guy Duterte or whatever that just goes around and shoots them or something? Yes. Yeah, they are. They're very clever. Can be. Yeah, it's quite. You know, from time to time, I've seen various documentaries about people that have lived, you know, lived on the streets or lived from the proceeds of petty crime and that. And some of the psychology around what they do is quite complex and quite amazing, actually. Yeah, well, I think he had people, he was paying people or something to go, I don't know, it sounded somewhat uncivilized, but I don't live in the Philippines and, you know, I don't know the extent of the problem, but he was paying people to just go around and find them, and yeah. I think I think he's got a pretty interesting background himself. Yeah. They did. They were going to. Yeah, there was no. Yeah, if they were known drug users, I think it was. Yeah, it was all good. No problems with the law. Yeah. Well, so far, as I said here, I don't, you know, we hear about it, but we don't actually, oh, Amnesty International, yeah, there's some, yeah, interesting, some interesting things going on with regards to some of these international organisations and the way they apply their things. I think, is it the Human Rights Council or something, is in the United Nations, is sort of the top countries in that at the moment are some of the worst, have some of the worst human rights records of any, and they're, you know, coming down here to New Zealand and complaining or something because we're locking our prisoners up for 23 hours a day or something like that, when they just shoot theirs. So gets a bit interesting. Yes. Well, perhaps we should move on to perhaps a more okay. Yeah, I've been I have great difficulty understanding some of the things that I see in America. I've taken a particular interest in at times in Detroit and the urban decay that seems to have occurred there. I don't quite understand it, and quite a lot of the pictures and things that we see over here are of abandoned buildings and that sort of thing, and I can't sort of understand how they get left, how they get left like that. I mean, why can't somebody sort of, you know, go in, maybe, I mean, I don't know what sort of value they have on them, whether they have quite high values on them and people can't, but I could imagine that, you know, an enterprising person could probably go in there and, you know, with a reasonably low-key lifestyle, perhaps salvage quite a lot of materials and sort of refurb and do things, but just doesn't seem to happen. Wow. Yes. Yeah. Well, we. Yeah. Yeah. I think I've always there's a Clint Eastwood movie. I think it's Pink Cadillac or something like that, and they take to it with guns, and actually the house falls down, which I've never ever seen. Okay, Moz, thanks for dropping by. Yeah. And yeah, I imagine there'll be a video of the rally, so or something associated with it. So I'll keep an eye out for that. And yeah, thanks for your support. Wonderful stuff. And yeah. Remember the stylistics. Cheers, Moz. Have a good one. Yeah. Wow. It's just, yeah. It's very hard to comprehend that, you know, the culture and that around that sort of stuff. We don't particularly have that here. We do have. Well, we have areas in towns that we would call rough areas, but we certainly don't have no-go areas. And in fact, the town that I live in, like Ngaruawahia, sort of has a... there was a thing on the news a couple of years ago about some people were a little bit intimidated, I guess, by the sort of vibe, and you know, would drive on through to the next town for petrol or a toilet stop, rather than stop here. But you know, I've lived here for 30 years plus, and yeah, I've never had any problems. So. Yeah, but that's about as bad as it. Bad as it gets, I guess. There's some areas I wouldn't want to be in at night time, but generally pretty good. I've had a few with my surveying. I used to go into a few interesting areas, but yeah, mostly people are. What? Gunfire every day? Wow. That's, yeah. Well, we don't have, you know, people don't carry guns in New Zealand. Our police don't carry guns. Yeah. It's, yeah. Well, our police don't carry guns as a rule. We have a special squad that carries guns, and I think most police cars have a gun that's in a box locked in the back of the boot of the car. Don't laugh. I think they have pepper spray and tasers. So, and I've never, you know, gunfire would be very, I've never heard it, really. And I've heard a few bangs and things, but wondered what it was, but I've never identified it in any way or anything like that. Yeah. Wow. But So that's in the city, isn't it? Vancouver. That's Vancouver is like okay, Surrey. Okay, but Vancouver is America. Is it America or Canada? I'm not. Thought it was Canada. Well, that was my. I might be. Yeah, that's Canada. Okay, I thought. No, I thought from what I'd seen that Canada had a sort of gun was, didn't have guns to the same extent that USA or America did. But okay, I don't know why is that? What's the what's the attraction there? Is there any reason for that? Oh, okay, yeah, come across the border. I sort of the border thing, yeah. Okay, and is it like because there's such a lot of drugs coming in through there, or it's just a scourge? And is the meth and that is is it coming from? Like over here, a lot of it's well, we used to make our own. Okay. Oh, right, between Canada and USA. So yeah. So what's the I guess there's a bit of a call for a tightening up of border control, I guess. Yeah. We had because initially we used to have they used to call it, I think, home bake, and they were going around buying pseudoephedrine tablets, flu and cold tablets. They would go around and buy those, and then cook them up and make the meth from that. And so then the government tightened up on the regulations around that, tightened up on the regulations around that, so that then a lot of the pseudoephedrine has started coming in across the borders, I think. But we've got, you're saying about gunfire and things, we actually, the dairy down the road from us got held up the other day because no one on the border here maybe at the crossings, people show up here and just walk across and now can stay as refuge from America. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, well, our problem that we've got here is that the government has made a I don't know whether a decision that New Zealand will be smoke free by 2020, or is it, I'm not sure, it's 2025. So what they're doing is they're progressively putting the tax up on cigarettes. So a packet of 20 cigarettes now costs around $20 to $25 New Zealand. And in fact, cigarettes cost more than weed, which is illegal. So, and then the tax is going to go up every year. They're just increasing the tax it. So what's happening now is that people are holding up dairies. A lot of the dairy owners are getting beaten and held up for cigarettes because they're so valuable, and a lot of them are not selling cigarettes anymore, or they're introducing like things like fog cannons and all sorts of stuff. So yeah, it's interesting times when you get your illegal weed is costing less than your cigarettes and your legal ones. So yeah, interesting. Because we're such an isolated island, we don't, most people have to come through customs that get into New Zealand, but oh, right, yeah, well, that's right, yeah, if you're the sort of, yes, it drops the property values, that's for real. Yeah. Yeah. Sometimes I think you've just got to cut your losses and move for the sake of your sanity and lifestyle. Yeah. Yeah. It grows pretty well. Grows pretty well here. I think there's a story of like some cops. They used to fly in with helicopters and uproot it and then take it back and burn it. And they found that they were picking it up and they were actually seeding the forest. They were spreading the thing. Yes, yeah. Well, but you do have as I say, I've been in this house here for 30 plus years, and you do have an attachment to things and land and things like that, so you're reluctant to do it, and it has a high initial cost, but yeah, if it means a less stressful life and a better lifestyle, it certainly can be worth it. Yeah, I think my wife would like to move into a sort of retirement village type situation where there was less to do, but I'm just happy where I am. Okay. Is that it's legal to have a certain amount, or is it the same as oh, she's very she only made one mistake. I'm it. Oh, she's very clever. Yeah, I've only ever lived in about 3 houses in my entire life. Well, yeah. Okay, 4 plants growing. All right. And you're not allowed, it's just for personal use or something like that, or you're not allowed to sell it, or... Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, because when I went to Colorado, and they had the legalized there. What, that you're not allowed to sell it? Or I'm not. Yeah, I didn't quite. I've not quite getting that last comment. Tell that to the. Oh, okay. All right. Yeah. Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah. You're probably right. But I don't know whether they've sorted out the problem, but I read that in Colorado, the guys that were selling the drugs and that, they were making quite a lot of money, but the banks wouldn't take their money because they although the local law said that it was legal, the federal law said not, and that they were frightened of getting hit with the proceeds of crime sort of type thing, so they wouldn't take the money. So these guys were walking around with large backpacks full of money, doing their business and transactions. I don't know, it might be a bit of a urban myth, but it sounded plausible. But yeah, 4 plants would. Yes, I see what you mean there. So I think it's that sort of at the moment here in New Zealand. I think they're working on the medical marijuana, making that legal now. So I think it's just a matter of time. Oh, right. Yeah, yeah. Just on a slightly, on that gold, slightly side issue, but we had a guy over here who, he was rorting the retirement benefit. And he was claiming, he was claiming the retirement benefit under 150 different aliases, and going around and picking it up. And he was doing very well. The only way that they only caught him because he slipped up and bought something on his FPOS card or something. Anyway, they found him, and he had bought a lot of gold, and he'd had it buried in his garden. He bought all this gold, and he'd bought a few paintings and stuff like that. Anyway, they found him out and took it all to court, and they traced them all back, and then they went round to his place, and they actually recovered more money than he'd stolen. he'd actually invested the money quite wisely, and he'd made quite a bit more than what he'd taken, and the government got more back. He tried to claim it back, but he lost out on that one, which I thought was a little bit quite interesting. Yeah, they made a bit of a documentary on it over here. He was quite a. He'd done a similar thing in Australia or something, and then moved over here. And again, those border issues, getting a bit of trouble in one country and move on to the next. So yeah, alrighty. Well, I've been going for about an hour now, Howie, and it was wonderful to talk to you. Oh, right. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. There's all sorts of little tricks. Of lawn, there's that. I don't know if you've watched that Ozark on Netflix. That was quite There's a couple of ones there about people laundering money, which has been quite interesting. Yeah. I'll head away. And hey, really great to talk to you again. And I appreciate your your support and stuff and comments through the week. So marvelous stuff, Howie. And thank you. And thanks for your interesting points of discussion and things there. It just helps to try and understand what's happening around the world. All good. Cheers. We'll see you. And I think I'll wind her up for the night. Awesome. Bye. Thanks, everybody. Thanks for liking and subscribing. I'm going to finish it up here as I head into the vlogs 501 through to 1,000. So, all good. Cheers. See you.